Good morning and welcome to, for the final time this semester, the Dumpster Fire 3.1 here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I'm Josh, here with Jeff.
What's up?
What up?
Ooh, I'm loud. I am so loud.
No, that's good. We need loud. We need to wake up. And also we have a special guest in here, Janice.
Hello.
Why, hello. You can come closer to the mic.
Okay.
Eat it.
Yeah, eat the mic.
Eat the mic.
mic.
All right.
Eat the mic. But anyways, we made it. Here we are, last official day of the semester.
Finally.
About time.
Yeah,
made
about D time is what you wanted to say.
Yes.
And I agree.
Yes, but now we just gotta wait less than 3 days, and then graduation.
Yeah,
and then
I saw
summer.
Your brother's graduating too?
He is.
Are you guys gonna walk together? Not together, obviously, but
I think
1-2 kind of thing?
I think we're gonna try to do it and see, because they didn't organize us up in the last ceremony. They didn't organize us up by
AIM,
degrees or anything.
That's why Ames gives you the card.
Yeah,
Because then they just read your name.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna have him with me, and then we're just gonna do it one right after the other.
Nice.
Because I think that would actually look pretty cool. My godparents are coming in from Denver as well. It's whoa. It's this is actually gonna be pretty sick.
Plus, I mean, if they wanted to, they could watch YouTube. All right, we're out, and then just take off.
Right.
But.
Right. I think
because graduations are rough. People, I appreciate people that come to my graduation and everything. I hate going to graduations. They are so boring because they're always the same. I don't know. When I graduated last spring, we had a pretty cool speaker. But man, graduations are so boring. I'm sorry.
How do I say this? For me, the fun part is always the end. When they call your name, you get your diploma, you get your moment, that's it. But all the other stuff, it's just for me, I'm okay. I love the inspirational speeches. I like getting motivated as much as the next person.
But I'm graduating college. I don't need any more inspiration. No.
Yeah, it's yo, I made it this far on my own. I paid my own way
What's
to
up, Ozzy?
be here. Hi, Ozzy. Oh, shout out to Ozzy.
We're
being
doing
part of our
a full-on
group.
dumpster fire. This is chaos today.
It is a
It's the
very
last
chaotic
show.
chaos, and actually, it's going to be even more. It's going to be even more chaotic now.
English is hard, Josh.
Janice, what is your opinion on graduations?
They're long.
See-
and half the time I'm when I graduated high school, half the time I was literally just looking at the time.
Yeah, and I was see, you're right in the middle. Your last name is right in the middle, so it's you got to listen to a bunch of people's names, and then your name gets called, and then you still have to listen to a bunch of people's names. Same with you.
Yeah,
You're an M
we're
right in the middle.
in the middle. Yeah,
I'm at the end, so I got to watch everybody, and then I get mine, and then I have those weird kids that have the W last names, and all. No, just kidding.
Or the
And the Z's.
Yeah.
But
no, it is a whole thing.
I don't know, and that's what I appreciate about Ames. Appreciate about Ames is you can sit with all your friends that you went to school with. You don't have to sit in alphabetical order.
Yeah, no, for us, they had us in really weird groups for my high school graduation, and they had me sitting next to everybody I wanted to get away from when we graduated.
Ooh.
So not only that, but our principal at the time at Grilly West had the audacity. Keep in mind, she didn't know you as a student unless you were an athlete, a theater kid, a cheerleader, or your parents gave money to the booster club. Other than that, the vice principal dealt with you. And she had the audacity during her address to get up on stage, hi, welcome to all the parents and the families. After getting to know every one of these seniors, and a bunch of us booed, and
I don't know you.
And I screamed things that I cannot say on air, and I'm kind of glad nobody caught me, because I was so fed up at that time, with just school in general, that I just wanted to get away. And even after we were all taking pictures at the end, and I was just trying to take my cap and gown off because I was just so fed up, and my mom's yo, we gotta get the pictures. I'm all right, get the pictures. And the second it ended, I'm I'm done. But that was just me. It's the complete opposite of the Ames graduation that I've done so far, because the Ames one I loved.
Yeah,
it was just so much more fun, and I just felt way more positive about it than the high school one. No, the high school one, I was I'm done. I'm never going to see this place again.
Yeah, no, when I graduated high school, they organized us very weird. They didn't organize us by last names. They just gave us some weird random order. So I was like almost last.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so it's
And
really
they
weird.
tried to
Chaos.
get really fancy with how they organized us because they did our graduation at the stadium at UNC. I mean, sorry, but they had, so it was weird. So they tried to make it all pompy circumstancy ish. So they had like one group come in, like one row come in at one time, and then another and another. So from the seats, it looked like this cascading like wave of people, but it took like 20 minutes, and it's like, why? Like, just let us get in, get our seats. But they just tried to be really fancy with it, and I was fed up. Like, after we had to do the rehearsal the day before, which was mandatory.
Yeah.
But anyways, and they tried to do like a barbecue afterwards, and I was just like, bye. I didn't even stick around for that because it was just that weird point in my life that I was just done with the whole establishment with Grilly West at that time, that I'm just like, nope, bye guys.
We're burn it down. No.
I mean, the original school doesn't exist anymore. It is now a pile of rubble sitting in a landfill somewhere.
Good riddance, right?
Yes, although now, because I went to John Evans that had asbestos and Greeley West had asbestos, if I get lung cancer, I know why.
You may be entitled to financial compensation.
District 6 about to lose a lot of money to you.
Oh, they're going to lose a lot of money to a lot of people because those schools were around for over almost 50 years. So,
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, the original one made it 51 years. John Evans made it like 45 because that one got replaced first, and then they built Prairie Heights.
Speaking of like lawyers and court cases, did you know that Frank Azar has a little office here in Greeley?
He does?
So yeah, you know that back parking lot behind like Stella's and Luna's and Patrick's?
Yeah, like that back area.
Yeah, where that like escape room kind of is?
Yeah.
His name is like up above that now. It just says like Frank Azar. So
What?
dude, we got the strong arm
We
in
got-
Greeley. Let's
Ding, ding.
get it.
Strong arm right next to the Moxie.
Oh man, that's crazy though, because I know like there's that back area of the Moxie, and then like that back patio of Luna's, and then you have like that little parking lot, and then you get like the back entrance to the Hispanic bar that's there. It's like Las Cubetas, which
Oh,
I
yeah,
still
and
haven't gone into. Or
Midnight Oil's over there too,
Yeah.
the bookstore.
yes, hey, now I know. Been in a car wreck? Call me.
Dude, like that dude's like name and voice and his little tagline is just like seared into my brain. And I didn't even grow up in Colorado. I grew up in Wyoming, but it was still, still got the Denver channel. So
Yeah, so you got
just
a lot
always
of
got the
us.
Frank Azar,
Yeah.
the strong arm.
No, it is so weird. Like it was like when we were in Vegas, I think we were actually talking about that on the shuttle bus going to the hotel, that we saw all the billboards. It was like injured in a hotel or like injured in a car wreck, and it had all the like Vegas lawyers, and it's like, wait, where's Frank Azar?
Where's Saul? Wait, no, that's fictional.
wrong state.
The only billboard I can really remember though from Vegas is that one that was right across the street from us that was like, sinners repent now.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, on
yeah.
that church.
And it's weird because it's just like a billboard in the middle of a parking lot. There's not any building near it either.
yeah, no, it's
a
just
random
right there,
billboard.
like right across the street. It's like eye level from like those hotels, and it's
Gotta
like,
advertise somehow.
It's like, don't judge me.
yeah, it's
I'm not sinning. I'm learning.
yeah, we were there to learn
I did gamble.
and
Once.
gamble. Yeah, we did that. Or
And then I
did
did
that.
I did go and watch like 3 episodes of the show called The Night Agent on Netflix
Nice.
one morning because Janice snores.
I apologize for that.
I was like, I can't sleep. I'm just going to go sit in the casino. And I was sitting there, 2 people that came up to like, I just went and
Yeah.
sat in a little MGM area.
Yes.
2 people like came up and they were sitting there and I saw them like nod off.
Yeah.
And security came up.
Like,
So I was
real
like,
quick?
man, I better look like I'm like betting or something here. And then I
Yeah.
asked the security guard and he's like, no, you're good. As long as if you're not sleeping, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, cool. I'm not sleeping.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not sleeping.
Then I wouldn't be talking to you.
Yeah, no, one of the mornings that we were waiting for y'all to get down there, because I got down to the lobby area like super early. I was like, oh, I got time, so I'm hitting the slots, and I'm going to like some of the slots like in the back room over like kind of by where our elevator was, and there's this old lady, and I see her just like starting to like slouch over. And I'm nervous because like the floor right there, like it's just really thin concrete. It's just really thin carpet and then just the concrete. And I'm just like keeping an eye on her like while I'm like hitting the slot. And I'm just like, please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall.
She
But
might
then
already be dead.
security came up to her like a few moments after that, and they were like, "Hey, if you're sleeping, sorry, you can't be in here." And the lady, at least she was chill about it. She was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry," and then she just like waddled off.
Died on the Vegas Strip. No.
Ooh, that would not be a pleasant way to go, honestly.
I would
not a good
haunt
place to
that
go.
place so much. I would just be a terrible ghost.
I don't know why, but there's always a part of me that, like, especially given what kind of happened at the Mandalay Bay a couple years ago, part of me is like, is that place haunted?
I mean, I don't feel like that place would be haunted because nobody actually. Well, I mean,
One
he
guy
died
there.
there.
Yeah.
but none of the people died there. They died.
Yeah, no, the festival grounds.
That room, if anything, would be haunted.
Well, they
Yeah.
have it sealed
Just the-
off. Like,
Yeah, I was like-
after
I kind of
the thing,
assumed they would just like close it off, and because then
Yeah.
you don't want any like psychos going in there and trying
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
no.
some kind of copycat or
build like a shrine or any
people trying to
wackiness
like use
that.
Ouija boards and like, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah, because apparently, like after everything happened, they cleaned up the area, but they sealed it off. So they're like from the hallway, you have no idea that there's like even a room there. But it is a little eerie because if you look up at the windows, like they all have a certain tint to them with their age. There's one that has like slightly less tint on it because it's a newer window because they replaced it, and it's like, ooh, it's just kind of like that weird like
that's the window.
that is
Like,
the window.
I don't know. I'd feel like the same if I was in Texas and I looked up the book depository, like, hey, that's the window.
I mean, they built a museum up there.
yeah, right.
The 6th floor museum, and it's like, ooh, and it's crazy because they have the X like on the street where
Where
kaboom happened. So yeah, no,
Headshot.
it is crazy.
See, this is where we need like little sounders, because then I would totally have just played the Halo headshot sound right there.
It's like we just need a better soundboard.
It's been enough time. We can joke about it.
Yeah, it's been what? No, over 50 years now.
Well, 40 to 2000. Yeah, it's been like 60 years.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it was
yeah, it'll be
63. It was 63 when it
Yeah, it
happened.
was in 63. So,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah, I was like, it's a
60 years
thing now. When I saw the Misfits in Chicago, it was they played their song "Bullet," which is about that day, and on the screen they were showing the Zapruder film just on a loop.
Oh wow.
So it's like, they're. But then again, I mean, yeah, it's Glenn Danzig. The Misfits, they were horror punk. Shock is their thing. So it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes, but we have been talking now for a little bit. Actually, let's go ahead and get a quick check of your weather here for you today on this lovely Tuesday.
sunny.
It is beautiful. Currently in Fort Lupton, we are looking at 62 degrees, a high of 79, a low of 50, sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 2 miles per hour. Loveland, we're looking at 64 degrees, a high of 79, a low of 51, sunny skies, wind gusts of 4 miles per hour. Windsor, we are looking at 63 degrees, a high of 79, a low of 51, sunny skies, wind gusts of 2 miles per hour. And on the home campus of Greeley, we are looking at 64 degrees, a high of 79, a low of 51, sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 5 miles per hour. And we will go ahead and let it kick back to the music here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. Stay tuned. We got more dumpster fiery content for you today. And welcome back to the Dumpster Fire 3.1 here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be. I'm Josh. Meanwhile, we got Jeff spraying some Febreze up in here.
Just down the hallway.
Just down the hallway? Okay, that works too. Meanwhile, let's see, we got our energy drinks. I got my Rockstar Pure Zero. Jeff's got some Coconut Edition Red Bull.
I do.
Yes.
And a muffin.
And a muffin. And Janice has
High quality H2O.
H2O, baby.
Hydration's important, man.
Hydration is important.
Hydration, bros.
Yas. I was going to say, anybody do any gaming this weekend?
I started playing Fallout New Vegas again.
Nice.
Downloaded the Dead Money DLC.
There you go. Ooh, don't die.
And I don't remember why I did it, because it's like the hardest DLC and it's terrible, but it's such a fun story. But dude, it's so hard. It is so hard.
Nice.
That's the one Fallout game I haven't done the DLCs for, because I never owned them. Because with 3, I have the Game of the Year edition, so
Yeah.
it comes with the DLCs. But I just own the base version of New Vegas.
Oh dang. Well, you can if you look, you can get the Ultimate Edition like dirt cheap now.
I think it's
Yeah.
like $7-8 right now if you have Game Pass.
Yeah, or like I got it on Steam when they were doing their Christmas sale. I got the Ultimate Edition for like $5. It was awesome on my
Ooh.
PC. Let's see. I ended up so I kind of pulled not really a dummy move, but since Jedi Survivor is still getting fixed, I'm like I'm just going to wait on that one. And I didn't realize that they actually did a PS5 version of Fallen Order. So I downloaded that one, and I've been playing through that one. Runs crazy good. And then they just did the upgrade path to get the remastered Spider-Man game for like $10 if you have the PS4 version. So I downloaded that, and I've been playing that. And I'm like, I'm just going to hold off for right now because, I mean, this Friday, the new Zelda game comes out, and I got that pre-ordered. So I think everyone knows what I'll be doing until I have to go to the ceremony. Like, I'm just going to go to GameStop and get the game, go back in and just play it until I have to go. So it's going to be
I play
fun.
games too much.
I don't have a life, bro. Well, I do. I just fill it with a lot of stuff.
Drugs.
I mean, judging by the amount of energy drinks I consume, kind of, yeah.
Caffeine is a drug.
Yes, it is. The most widely used drug on Earth. And I was going to say, and it's like, I even had help with it, too, because Whitney and Sean, when we were in Vegas, ended up getting some... I don't know what happened. They had like some mishap at a vending machine, and they ended up with a free energy drink. And I think it was that last morning that we were there that Whitney's like, hey, here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, because the pitch in your voice was hilarious.
Yeah. No, my voice just does that. And it's like, okay. But I began to notice with my voice, like if I'm talking to my cousins or anything, like I'll go more into my radio voice, and I'm like doing it subconsciously, and they're like, yo, I can hear your radio voice, and I'm like, really? Like I'm not trying to like actively do it, but it just...
I totally understand. It's like the same, like when I talk with kids and stuff, my voice gets a lot. Right now it's super clogged, but my voice gets a lot higher, a lot friendlier.
Yeah.
But then like anytime I answer the phone, don't even mean to, my voice just, yo, what's up? Like my voice drops, my voice so deep. Trying to be like scary and intimidating or something, but
No, I always sound tired when I answer the phone. Like, what's up?
Yeah. No, for me, like outside of work, like I just message people because I mean, my day job is already taking phone calls all day and night. So half the time when I'm done, like, and it's like me like trying to avoid talking to people. It's like, just text me. Like you'll get a way better response. If you call me, I'm going to be like, bro, I've been talking for 40 hours. Like my throat hurts. Stop. Like, even if I'm, like, at home and I'm just gaming and something happens, like, I don't freak out about it. I'm just like, oh, damn. But it's just usually because of that. By the time that I'm off work and everything, my voice just hurts. So I'm just like,
Depends on the game. If it's Fallout and it crashes, I get mad.
Oh, man. I was going to say, we'll see what happens because, I mean, Xbox right now had a kind of a rough, they had a rough week with the whole Redfall fiasco. Yeah, with Redfall.
these things happen. It'll
Yeah.
blow over. At least now I don't have to hear about how Sony's whining and crying like, no, you can't have Activision. That's not fair. Meanwhile, they go and buy out other game companies to get exclusives.
Yeah.
I have a pretty big bias against PlayStation right now because I just think that they're whiny.
It's tough because I'm a PlayStation guy.
Like,
Oh, I know, and that's why
I mean,
I guess I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I think they're whiny.
like I have
I know.
both. Like I didn't get really an Xbox until a couple of years ago, but this whole Sony Microsoft beef is just getting kind of ridiculous because it's weird because they're complaining about the exclusives, but look at how many exclusives Sony releases, you know, every year.
Yeah.
Right, and do you really think that Xbox would like purchase a game company like the Activision and then say straight up like, no, you guys can't have Call of Duty anymore?
No, Call of Duty's
Call of Duty is such a huge
They would
money
lose
maker.
so much
Yeah.
Exactly.
players
Like
if they
Yeah.
were to cut off Sony with Call of Duty.
they would make more money continuing to make products for like PlayStation rather than
Yeah,
just,
than making
like
it
being
all
like, well, now you have to
exclusive.
buy an Xbox. People like, okay, cool. I'm just not going to play
Call
Call
of
of
Duty
Duty.
anymore.
I don't know why they're whining about like losing Call of Duty because if you have Call of Duty on PlayStation and you have PlayStation Plus, you get exclusive content.
Oh yeah, no, like right now. So it was funny. The early days of Call of Duty, like the 360 era, for the most part, like Xbox used to get all the stuff first. Like they would get the DLC first and everything, and then they signed that huge deal with PlayStation later on. So like PlayStation started getting a lot of the stuff first, or they'd get like the big pre-order bonuses or whatnot. But it really wouldn't benefit Microsoft whatsoever if they bought Activision to just make Call of Duty Xbox exclusive, because it makes so much money. And actually this report came out about how the costs of developing a video game are getting so stupidly expensive. Like there is a very good chance if Microsoft decided to tell Activision, hey, Call of Duty's only Xbox exclusive from now on, that they actually may not recover the money that they spent to make the games.
Yeah, and you know how Microsoft is about money.
Yeah, no, I mean, because like there was the report was ridiculous that including marketing, we are reaching video games that are having budgets of $1 billion. Like even movies aren't even there yet.
That's so stupid to me.
It's just getting so absurd. Like there was one, because they didn't name the publishers, but they named one that they were like, oh, we spent $200 million making this game, but then we spent $600 million marketing it and promoting it. So it's gotten to this point, and it's part of the reason why we're not getting a whole lot of like original games, is because these games are costing so much to make now that if they don't sell like Call of Duty size numbers, they're flops, and those companies lose money. That's why we're seeing more and more of the same games every year, and that's why like, Activision, obviously they doubled down on Call of Duty. EA, Madden, Battlefield, Ubisoft, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed. But you see, like they go to the things that they know is going to make money regardless. They're not willing to take as many risks anymore like they used to. Like back then, it's like, oh, you want this kind of original game? It's like, oh yeah, here, go ahead. We'll try to see if it works. Nowadays, they're much less likely to try it. Like if you look at like late 2000s EA, like some of the more original games that we got from that time, like the Mass Effect games, Dante's Inferno, Dead Space, like those were smaller games that just happen to be big hits.
Or even Mirror's Edge.
Or even like Mirror's Edge. Like you think a company like EA is going to make like a Mirror's Edge anymore, a game that original? No, not anymore. Catalyst was a flop.
EA definitely sold their soul. They used
really
to have
did.
such great content, such great games.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you said, it's easier just to copy and paste every year.
Yeah, and that's why...
Looking at you, FIFA fans.
Oh, yeah. Or, sorry, EA Sports FC fans now, because they're not paying FIFA the ridiculous license fee anymore. Yeah, because I think like FIFA wanted like $1 billion every 2 years, and
What?
EA's like, no.
Are they going to be able to use the players then?
I think they can use the players and I think they can use some of the teams. I don't know. It's going to be weird. I just think
it's going to be weird.
I think they're going to do it, but they're just not going to call it FIFA.
They're going to put
And-
Wrexham in it.
That'd be sick.
They just moved up to the English
They
league.
did. Ryan Reynolds was having the time of his life. I loved that.
So don't forget about Rob.
And Rob too.
It's Mac
Rob
from It's Always
too.
Sunny. He is
Yes.
amazing.
And I know they said that their ultimate goal is to get to the Premier League. And I could see them doing it.
You pump enough money into it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, it's like pumping money into sports franchises. Looking at you, Oakland A's. Looking at you, Rockies.
Rockies needed.
Boo.
Yeah, no, I was seeing this thing over the weekend that, like, it was a weekend game at the Oakland Coliseum, like, less than 2,500 fans in attendance.
Ooh.
Their AAA affiliate in Oakland had, like, 5,000 at the same time.
Let's just say there's a reason the Raiders moved to Vegas.
I mean, that stadium is becoming, like, a hazmat site at this point. Like, good Lord.
True.
So I can say that I don't necessarily blame the A's for moving to Las Vegas, but also at the same time, like Vegas, it's weird because it's a transient city. It's like there are people that live there, but for the most part, it's tourists, that are there most of the time. So for them to have like the sports culture that they're getting now is like kind of interesting.
I think it makes a lot of sense though, because like you
Yeah.
said, so much of it's tourists. I mean. So you want to go to Vegas because you want to go to Vegas. You want to go gambling. You want to do this. You want to do this. And it turns out your favorite team is playing their football team. Like,
Yeah.
it's a brilliant idea for Vegas to have all the major franchises.
And it makes them money.
No, it's
Well,
true.
yeah, and
it
especially
all
with
rakes in
sports
money.
betting being legal. Like,
Oh yeah, no, it's becoming such a huge thing. Like back in the days, like before it became legal, you would hear about the odds, like here and there. Like the week of the Super Bowl, you'd be like, "Oh, Vegas has the odds at this." Now there's entire shows on ESPN dedicated to sports gambling.
Yeah.
see, it's funny. At BA, actually, I went to a thing that talked about like baseball way back in the day. The sports odds and everything were actually put into newspapers and like radio broadcasts because that's the news people wanted. It was like
Yeah.
a huge deal where they'd section out this specific portion of shows to be like, here are the odds. Like,
Yeah,
so
I knew they did it in newspapers back then, but I didn't know they did it in radio.
Yeah.
And radio was partially a thing, but also it's just so weird because I remember as a kid, like someone would be like, "Oh, the odds are this," and it's like, "Oh, cool, you can't really bet on these." Well, legally, but now like they have whole entire shows, and now you watch any game on ESPN, they have the live odds on the bottom of the screen. Like if a game's gonna start, like it'll tell you like, "Oh, this game starts at like 6:00," and it'll show you the odds, for each team. It's like over, under, plus, minus. It's crazy. It's such a huge business now.
yeah. Don't if you have a gambling problem, make sure you seek
Get
out
help. Get help.
because that's something they do with all those gambling things too. Is they're like, yeah, spend money. Hey, by the way, if you're spending too much money,
Get
here's
help.
how you get help.
There's a
Like there
hotline
were
for
there
that.
were a few billboards I remember that we would pass by in Vegas and we were walking across. It was just like overspending on gambling is a flag on the play. Like stuff like that, and it would always
That's
have the little help.
cringy.
I mean, it was cringy, but it was it's like it still had the thing. It's like get help if you need it, kind of thing.
And then you like go down to another path and like, oh yeah, gamble.
Yeah. No, it was crazy because when we were walking by the horseshoe that had that big old billboard, like we were going up that escalator, like I remember seeing first they showed an ad and it was that one about like, hey, gamble responsibly. And then the next ad, it was Peyton and Eli, promoting Caesar Sportsbook.
Bruh.
So it's this whole like weird thing. It's like, oh yeah, be good about this. Hey, spend.
It's like I'm getting mixed messages.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just a lot in Vegas, but that's not the point. And also, too, it's like, remember, kids, if she seems like she's being way too friendly, she might be an undercover cop.
Good advice.
Good advice. But we have been talking for a while, and we are actually kind of coming up on the top of the hour, so we will go ahead.
Yay.
And let it
Actually,
get-
I'm gonna go ahead and check out. I got some last minute homework to finish up. So
All right.
thank you for joining,
Us.
letting me join the Dumpster Fire 3.1. It's been a lot of fun,
Yes.
and we'll see what happens in the future. I probably won't be taking radio classes, but I'll probably come just hop on the radio because who's gonna stop me?
Not me.
Janice, you gonna stop me?
No.
Okay, so see, if nobody's
do
gonna stop me.
radio,
I'm
so-
good to go.
There you
so-
go.
I don't do
And
radio, so
and we
this
do
is
thank you, Jeff, for everything that you've done and helping us here on getting this show and making it into what it is now.
A fiery piece of trash.
Yes. Yes. This show stinks. We're not going to deny it, but that's the charm. That's why it's called a dumpster fire. And while we go ahead and let it kick off to the top of the hour, we should be back with more hilarious content and more absurdity, because that's just what we do. And anyways, we'll let it get back to the music here on AIM Student Radio. Up next, we got The Phoenix by Fall Out Boy. Enjoy. And welcome back to the Dumpster Fire 3.1 here on AIM Student Radio, the way radio should be, the season finale of the Dumpster Fire. So keep in mind, for the summer semester, it is going to go through a little bit of an adjustment. So this is the last episode known as the Dumpster Fire 3.1. Up next will be the Dumpster Fire 3.2. That is part of the running joke that I have with this show, where each semester gets a slightly different thing, but at the start of every year, it does get a different number into it, because just got to keep it moving. Anyways, I'm Josh. Jeff did check out before the top of the hours, got some last minute homework to do before graduation. Jeff, get that homework done. But also, we have Janice still here in the booth.
Yep. I'm still here.
Yep, indeed. So up next, we got a quick check of your weather. Currently in Fort Lupton, it is 67 degrees, a high of 79, a low of 50. Sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 2 miles per hour. In Loveland, we're looking at 66 degrees, a high of 79, a low of 51. Sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 3 miles per hour. In Windsor, we are looking at 67 degrees, a high of 79, a low of 52. Sunny skies, wind gusts of 3 miles per hour. Where did my mouse go? And in Greeley, we are looking at 69 degrees. Nice. Hey. A high of 80, a low of 52. Sunny skies, wind gusts of up to 6 miles per hour. Once again, in Greeley right now, it is 69 degrees. I am totally finding an excuse to just say that.
And he's not joking either.
And I'm not joking either. Hi. I love what you're carrying in your bag. Yes, but please be careful. I do like living. I do like being amongst the living. For all those of you listening, just had an interaction with somebody on the outside here of our little fishbowl. Always got to adapt to the circumstances.
True.
Holy smokes. Oh man, I'm seeing clouds and I'm like, no! But I'm actually taking a look here. We have a 42% chance of precipitation tonight, which, ew. Well, actually, no, if it's rain, I don't mind. But if it's hail or snow, then I'm like, no, I'm done.
If it's rain, then I don't got to water the lawn.
Bro, I just washed my car this morning after it got all the mud and stuff on it from the last rainstorm we had. So I'm just like, really?
Ha.
Like, I got to do this again? And there went my voice, just doing what it wants to do. But oh well. Anyways, Janice, you got any games you're looking forward to this summer?
Street Fighter 6 mainly. I'm hoping Tekken 8 gets a release date.
I don't know why I keep thinking it's going to be in August.
It might be, but they still don't have no release date. They say coming soon, and then they just give us more trailers.
My guess is it's going to be August, because if they really want to hammer hard on like the 8, August is the 8th month of the year. Plus, also, in theory, we're supposed to get Mortal Kombat 12 this year as well, but we've heard not a peep, not a reveal trailer, not a nothing.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, because this was supposed to be the big year of, like, you know, the fighting games. It was like, oh, we get Street Fighter, we get Mortal Kombat, we get Tekken.
Yeah.
So if it's going to happen, I mean, like, we're already almost halfway through the year. We got the demo for Street Fighter.
Yeah, and I actually did try the demo for Street Fighter. It's actually not that bad.
Very nice. And then we have, I'm just waiting to see what ends up happening. Like, right now, so many other games are getting kind of delayed, and I'm just like, okay, this could either be good or it could be bad.
Yeah, delays scare me sometimes because, like, the last time we had a bunch of major delays, Cyberpunk, and we all know how that scenario ended.
I was going to say, Cyberpunk probably could have done well with another, like, 2 or 3 delays. Because, I mean, if you think about it, it took them almost 2 years to actually fix the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game, they really... How do I say this? Once it's fixed, it was a great game. Like, there was always a great game in there. It was just...
But the damage has
they
already
had
been
to...
done.
It wasn't really until the show came out that... Because it was actually around the time the show came out that they released the last patches that actually fixed the game and got it working the way that it should. And then a lot of people, really dove into it. And right now, with the DLC that they're going to do, where they have Idris Elba coming into the game, they are they already said they're taking their time with it. Like, they want to release it this summer, but they've already said, like, oh, if it's not ready, then they're not going to release it. And they said the DLC is only going to be next gen consoles only and PC. So if you have if you're still playing it on a PS4 or Xbox One, then you are kind of out of luck there. But right now, there's still no official, like, next-gen version of Cyberpunk. So if you want to play it, you basically have to take either your PS4 or Xbox One disc and put it into your PS5 or your Series X. So for right now, there's, like, not an official next-gen version, but if you're playing the game on those systems, because those have the processing power to handle the DLC, then you'll be able to play it. And honestly, with the hiccups that they had, for the last few years, if anything, just make the DLC free. Just like I'm sorry, basically.
Yeah, because they owe it to the fans, especially the people who played it on PS4.
And kind of got their PS4 fried.
Rest in peace, your PS4.
Oh, yeah, no, now that thing just sits there and all it does is it plays Spotify. But oddly enough, I actually installed like a couple of smaller games on there. Like I installed the Turok games because I'm like, these won't make this thing go crazy. But it's just we'll see we'll see where it all goes. We're supposed to get a developer like an Xbox Direct here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And they said immediately after that they're going to do a full Direct just off of Starfield.
Cool, because we need more stuff on Starfield, because right now I'm skeptical because we ain't got really much on that
I mean,
game.
we've seen some gameplay, but then they've gone really quiet about it, so I'm just like, I don't know. And Xbox, they really need a win right now after...
And I'm not a big fan of Todd Howard.
Yeah, I mean, how do I say this? After the... Like, you know, first of all, we haven't gotten a lot of Xbox exclusives this year, or as of late.
Because most of them are getting delayed.
Most of them are getting delayed, or they're just not getting anything released. Case in point, Halo Infinite. But also, we need... But even the ones that we have released, I mean, we saw what happened with Redfall. Like, that was...
That sucks,
dear.
too, because I actually wanted to play that game.
I mean, the trailers looked really interesting and everything, and then all of a sudden it came out, and it's like, oh no, this game... Like, ouch.
I'm
This is
thinking
an
about
ouchie.
just installing it just for the funnies because I saw like some of the glitches.
Like,
and I thought it was
I can't
hilarious.
play it on like I have a 1X, so I would just have to like do the cloud streaming to play the game. But part of me just wants to see it because like it's like I'm not going to install this, but maybe just like stream it just to see some of
Just
the
to
glitches,
witness it.
see the funnies a little bit. But it's oh man, like they really need a win. I mean, they're it seems like they're kind of on the losing end of trying to get this deal to buy Activision to go through as well. Like in Europe, like the UK government's already like no.
Yeah, because
They already dropped the kibosh.
Because I know part of the reason why that deal's getting delayed is because their deal with Bethesda, because the Bethesda deal, part of it was for a certain amount of time they weren't going to release console exclusives. Well, we could already see that part has been broken.
It is getting a little crazy, yeah. Because I mean, Starfield originally it was announced for PS5 and Series X, and it turned into oh no, we're just releasing it for Xbox. And now, like, it kind of worries me because there's other Bethesda franchises too. So, like, it's like, so does this mean Elder Scrolls is going to become Xbox exclusive, or is that too big of a brand for it to, you know, become an exclusive? Like, I hope that with Elder Scrolls 6 that there is a PS5 release as well. Same thing if they make any more Doom games. Like, please, for the love of God, make those for both consoles.
Imagine Doom with that haptic feedback.
Oh, that'd be even more terrifying than it is already. I still need to get the next gen, like the PS5 version of Doom Eternal, but I just need to cool it right now. I'm like, I'm tearing through way too many games at the same time. It's like I just need
You're gonna need a bigger hard drive.
bro, I already need a bigger hard drive. It's like, bro, I need to stop.
Let me guess, Jedi Survivor.
No, I haven't bought it yet. I'm waiting until they fix it and then I'll buy it. Because if I'm gonna waste 150 gigs or more or less, I don't know if they've reduced the file size at all. I haven't kept track, but if I'm gonna waste that much space, like I'm gonna do it for a game that works. I'll play it, I'll finish it, and then I'll install it because I'll probably end up using that space for other games.
Yeah, I don't see why like games need to be that big. Because
A lot of it is just honestly not so much the size of the games, but now so many of the assets in the games because the high resolution textures nowadays, especially since, you know, 4K gaming is the big thing. Those textures take up a horrifying amount of space. You know, like back then on like the days of like even a PS2, you know, a texture, you know, at 480p at the most, you know, took up hardly anything in space. You know, that's 480 lines of resolution we're talking about here. When we're talking 4K, that's over 4,000 lines of resolution. You know, that is a massive increase. So any textures that you do, you know, just take up this horrifying amount of space. And since we want everything to be, you know, more realistic, you want more realistic lighting, you want more realistic textures, you want more realistic facial animations, all of that takes up an insane amount of space.
especially facial animations, I feel like is always a must for a video game. Because like Forspoken came out and there was no facial animation.
Yeah, no, they've been working on fixing it, but still, like I feel bad because that game, like I was hyped for it because it looked like a really interesting concept. I mean, they're still fixing it, and if I do play it, like, I think I'm just going to get a used copy. Or if it ends up on, like, PlayStation Plus, then if anything, I'll probably just, like, play it then. But I don't think I'm not going to buy it full price. That's one of those for sure. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, and it was disappointing because, like, I'm a big fan of Square Enix games.
Yeah, usually, and it's kind of weird because from a technical side, usually Square Enix games, once they've launched, they're pretty solid. Like when I got the Final Fantasy VII Remake, like the patch I had to install on that was like less than a gig.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And they kind of dropped the ball with Forspoken. I think it's because mainly they're focusing on Final Fantasy. Because 16 is looking clean right
16 looks insane. That is the one big game I'm looking forward to this summer. And also, I'm terrified. How much space do you think that's going to take up? Because that world looks massive.
It's probably going to be smaller than Jedi Survivor, I bet. I would say, if anything, probably like 80.
I'm saying 100.
Because Final Fantasy games have known to always be kind of big.
I mean, the 7 remake was like it was like 120.
Yeah.
It was worth it, though. I love that game.
Well, it's Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
And then Part 2 should come out at the end of this year.
Of this year.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Which actually, that is part of the reason that I did go ahead and upgrade to, like, next gen as well. That's because when they said that the second part of the remake is only next gen, I was like, okay, then I have to upgrade either way. So
I do feel like, though, it's taking them a little too long with this remake.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it takes some... How do I say this? It already took them so long to even approve the remake anyways, because there have been so many rumblings about it for years and years and years.
When they announced it.
And then because you got to remember, when they originally thought of doing a remake, it was like right at the tail end of like the PS3 generation. So we had to wait almost an entire generation to even get the first part of the remake done. Because it was 2020 when it released. That was the same year that the PS5 and the Series X launched. So we had to wait almost an entire generation for even like the green light for them to even make the game. And then for them to have to go in, figure out, because 7 is such a godly, gigantic game, and figure out like, okay, how do we remake all of this? And then obviously they had to split it up into thirds, because if they did the whole game in one shot, that'd be like a 6-disc game.
Yeah, well, the original game was 3 discs.
Yeah,
So
which, I mean, back in those days, it was more common. Nowadays, we don't really see that a whole lot. Like, we saw a handful of 2-disc games, like The Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk, but you didn't see a lot of actual, like, 2-disc games. It was less common. So I think that is also too why they kind of were like, yeah, let's kind of hold off. So I do like that they did split it up into thirds, because it gives each portion like more, like they can expand on the story, a little bit more, and then they can basically take these portions and really flesh them out. So it's almost like you're getting 3 games, in one.
And what's cool is, since the game was 3 discs, they could just make each part that disc.
Pretty much. So it is. So I'm just hoping that they do. I'm guessing they're probably, especially if they're doing it all with the same engine and they already have the textures and the character models and everything ready to go, that they can just kind of go in and just hopefully crank out, the third part like relatively quickly.
Well, especially since 16 is going to be finished.
Yeah, I mean, 16 is, well, it already went gold, right? I think it did.
I'm not sure.
Let's look. We have the power of technology here. Hey, look, Jeff's phone. All right.
And summon battles are back.
Yes. Looks like, oh, wow, that was sooner than I thought. Looks like actually back on March 31st, the game went gold. So it is done. Kind of surprised that it went gold 3 months in advance, though.
Yeah, well...
I mean, Square Enix, they're good with their stuff. So my guess is either it's finished already and we're either going to get a minor patch, or we might get a sizable day 1 patch. I don't know.
If anything, knowing them, they might do a day 1 patch just to be safe, because there's probably going to be some minor bugs.
Yeah, I mean,
then,
like, for the 7 remake, it had a day 1 patch, but it was, like, less than a gig.
Yeah, and then in the future, they're probably just going to add some stuff, like they did with 15.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, when they had the Afro Man sword.
Oh
update,
man.
My dad made sure he had, like, everything for that game.
Yeah. And what do you think about this one about 16 being rated M? Because looking in the trailers and stuff, like, this game looks brutal.
Honestly, I think the story's gonna be amazing.
That's honestly, I am really excited that they went, all the way, which I'm kind of surprised because a franchise this big, where they spend so much money making each of these games, very rarely do you see them try to change the rating because they want to sell as many copies as possible. So I will give Square Enix, credit for this, for them letting it be rated M. Because they really didn't have to, because when you make it rated M, regardless of how popular your franchise is, unless you're a Grand Theft Auto or a Call of Duty, like, you lose some of your audience there because there's a huge chunk of people that legally can't go and just buy the game.
Yeah, but it's actually interesting when they were working on 15 was going to be rated M. Back then, though, when it was called Versus 13.
Yeah.
Because the story was going to be a little more brutal.
Yeah.
But then they made it more lighthearted and stuff.
Yeah, although 15 still has, like, some dark moments. So you're like, whoa, like dang.
Especially the final chapter of the game.
Yeah. Whereas, like, that from that very, like, first trailer for 16, where it's like, oh, this kid just got, like, brutalized. You're like, oh, Lord.
When they announced it at first, like, I saw it pop up on YouTube. I thought it was fake at first. Because I didn't believe it. I'm like, nah, there's no way they already have stuff on 16. And then I saw the logo at them. I'm like, oh, this is legit.
Yeah, no, I do like it. And I'm really hoping it's like, all right, if you're going to make it rated M, like, go full on into it. Like, Rocksteady did the same thing with the Batman Arkham games, because Arkham Asylum and Arkham City were rated T, but then Arkham Knight was rated M.
I'm still playing through that because I just
it's a huge game
it on Game Pass.
It is a massive game. But also, too, like, with Arkham Knight, that was crazy because they only added, like, a couple of things in there that the ESRB was like, oh, no, we have to make this rated M. And I think it was just, like, some of the Scarecrow stuff that got, like, a little too freaky. And it was weird because, like, looking at interviews with the developers, they had allegedly said that they didn't want to change anything with the game. But if like, because I think 2K released the games. No, Warner Brothers releases the games, but they said that if they would have had to have made modifications to it allegedly, because if Warner Brothers said no, it has to be teen, then they would have, even though they wouldn't have liked it, they would have done it. But apparently Warner Brothers was really chill with them, and they're like, no, that's fine. We'll let this one be M.
Well, I think it's because, like, with the way the approach the game goes, that's kind of like how the story of Batman should be told, like, kind of more dark. And everything, and I feel like that's the way Batman should be told, especially like in the movies, like with the movie The Batman.
Oh yeah,
for a darker
like
approach.
I'm kind of surprised actually that the Batman didn't get rated R, because there was a lot of moments in there that it's like, yo, what is this movie rated?
Yeah,
and actually, oddly enough, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness also had a lot of moments there too, especially with some of the kills that it's like, okay, how did this not get rated R? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 also. It is definitely the most violent of the Guardians movies. It is the darkest. And, like, there are some, like, scenes that are just really brutal for, like, a PG-13 movie. It's like, good Lord. Like, they let them get away with it. I feel
like a lot of the newer superhero movies are going, like, the dark approach now.
Yeah.
Especially, like, with the bigger names. Because they know that, especially when they just released the Batman.
Oh, yeah.
They're realizing, like, that's...
It's like, darker movies, and especially now because so much of the audience that has grown up watching these movies, like, they're a little bit older now, they're not exactly kids anymore. So it's like, oh yeah, let's go. It's like they went a little darker with the movies now too. Cause like back then, we were all kids when these movies started. So
yeah,
it kind of made sense that they were a little lighthearted, but now it's like, oh no, the audience is getting a little older. Obviously there are still people who take their kids to see it, but with some parts it's like, oh dang, because there were like some kids that when I went to go see it on Sunday, and there were some scenes that I'm just like, oh dang, and it was just a really, but I also think too maybe this was Marvel's way of kind of like apologizing to James Gunn with the whole fiasco where they booted him from making Guardians 3 and then they brought him back. So I think in a way they were kind of like, maybe that was their way of apologizing to him. They're like, okay, we'll let you make the movie how you want to make it. Like, oh, you want to make it crazy violent in some parts? Go ahead. You want him to cuss more? Go ahead. You want one of the characters to actually drop an F-bomb uncensored in the movie? Go for it.
That's good to know.
It is crazy. Like, it was almost shocking because in the Marvel movies, there are moments that they get really close, but something always happens and it gets censored somehow.
Especially in Age of Ultron.
Especially in Age of Ultron. So there's so you're almost expecting it to be censored, and it wasn't. And they do it in such a nonchalant way that you're like, oh, he just said it. Just flat out said it. No censoring, no nothing. He just says it, and it's like,
I found
oh,
it
Lord.
funny, though, in Age of Ultron with the censoring that Nick Fury was the one talking about the language.
Oh, yeah.
Played by Samuel Jackson.
I'm pretty sure that was the joke. Because that man knows how to swear.
Almost every movie he's in.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just part of the thing.
The Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah, no, in the vast majority of movies, he has his phrases, which we cannot say on air.
Yeah.
But I think that's just part of the charm. And also, too, a lot of, like, if you watched The Suicide Squad, James Gunn did that movie, too. A lot of the camera techniques, so, like, the crazy swinging action shots that, like, he did with Harley Quinn and stuff, a lot of those kind of techniques he brought into Guardians 3. So there's like, some parallels in there, and it's like, whoa. Like, like, a lot of the action scenes look closer to stuff in The Suicide Squad. And it's really cool because, they have, like, the tight close-ups and the spinning cameras and just, like, the brutal deaths. And it's like, oh, Lord. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, when I think about the newer Suicide Squad movie now, I think about, like, when they're fighting Starro and he's trying to get Polka Dot Man to fight. He's like, hey, that's your mom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That movie, oh, Lord. I've seen that movie too many times. Like, I've only seen the first Suicide Squad movie, like, beginning to end. I think I've only seen it, like, twice.
I've seen that one a couple times, but honestly, the new one was
enjoyable, amazing.
But I do like the first Suicide Squad movie.
Like, how do I say this? I just want the Ayer cut of that original movie.
Yes.
We know it exists. Come on, Warner Brothers.
If you're hearing this,
please release it. You already did the Snyder cut. It was successful. Just give us the Ayer cut, and we'll be happy.
It's Morbid time.
It's Morbid time. Oh, and also, too, this one goes out to Marvel. There was allegedly, like, a much longer cut of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. There was, like, a almost 3-hour cut. Can we get that one, too?
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, because this one was barely 2 hours. True. And it's like there was allegedly like rushed. A way longer cut. And it's like, can we get that one?
Like the way it was, like the story developed, it felt rushed.
Yeah, no, like they really sped it up at the end because they were like, oh, yeah.
The final action scene was sick, though.
It was sick, but it felt like they just really kind of like sped everything up. They were just like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Here's your scaries. Here's your action scenes. And like before you know, you're like, whoa, that was cool. And then boom, it's over.
I think mainly I wanted to see more of the other dimensions.
I wanted to see more of the multiverse. I wanted to see more Scarlet Witch kills because she had some ridiculous kills in that movie.
She killed my boy.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, no, like me and my brother went to go see that opening weekend. And when it got to the scene where, let's see, the movie's been out over a year. I think we're fine. Like when she takes out the Fantastic Four, like my brother, he was like, bro, what? Like he looked at me and he's like, dude, what is this movie rated? And I'm like, I know, because some of the kills were just.
She got Charles.
Oh yeah, no, like that was like I was surprised they let that go in a Marvel movie. Like DC, okay, that makes sense. But like for Marvel to go that brutal with it, or even like in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, there were a couple of kills that were like if you watch like other Marvel shows like The Punisher and Daredevil, like those were really violent.
I actually just finished rewatching The Punisher last night.
Nice.
Because I did hear this, that in Daredevil Born Again, the Punisher will be
back. Thank the Lord. Because although the thing that kind of run Ozzy run. Although the thing that kind of so right now we are going to have to wait longer for several Marvel movies because the writer's strike is still going on. So right now production on Daredevil Born Again has been halted, and I think a couple of the other Marvel movies. I I know right now actually, let me pull it up here. Because the strike is still going on. They thought, it'll only be a few days. It's gone over a week now. And now some productions are just getting stopped.
I've heard little about the strike. So what's fully going on with this?
So there is a massive union, the Writers Guild of America, where the vast majority of the so there's one union that most of the big writers that make a lot of the TV shows and movies that we watch, they're with. And they usually sign contracts with the big production companies. But there's been this huge thing where a lot of if you work on a television show, you get certain kind of guarantees with your pay. And you get you get a certain amount. People that write for streaming shows are getting paid way less than that. And they're somehow getting basically not tricked, but they're basically getting deceived out of like a lot of royalties and stuff that they could get, even though these shows are hugely popular. And they've been trying to work out a new deal with these production companies before their contract ended, and basically neither side could come to an agreement, so the writers are on strike. But because this union is so big and they have so many of their workers write all of these shows, there's so much that is there's just so much here. Oh, yeah. Like here, I'm actually pulling it up here.
Well, you got to pay your writers.
Yes. Okay, here we go. So these are... Oh, the list has grown since last time I checked this. So these are productions that are affected, or these are shows that they've either... and movies that they've either shut down production completely or they've postponed because of the strike. And this list has gotten bigger. So here we go. So for films, the Blade movie has been postponed.
No.
Daredevil Born Again got postponed. Here we go. For talk shows, so this is why you're seeing a lot of reruns. If you watch TV late at night, pretty much all the late night shows are postponed. So right now, The Daily Show, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Real Time with Bill Maher, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, The Talk, Late Night with Seth Meyers, The Tonight Show starting Jimmy Fallon, all are postponed right now.
That explains a lot.
That's why you're seeing the same episodes from 2 weeks ago.
That also explains why I haven't seen anything new on YouTube from them.
Right. Television series. This is where it starts to get kind of wacky. Season 3 of Abbott Elementary. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, Season 1. Season 8 of Big Mouth. Season 7 of Bunked. Season 6 of Cobra Kai. Daredevil Born Again. Season 4 of Evils. Season 3 of Hacks. Season 40 of Jeopardy! If the strike is getting prolonged, which looks like it is. Season 2 of Loot. Season 2 of Night Court. Season 3 of Power. Season 48 of Saturday Night Live, which is kind of a bummer because last Saturday's episode, had the strike not occurred, was supposed to be Pete Davidson's return to the show. Oh. I don't know if he was going to host or if he was going to do guest bits, but he was going to be on the show. Season 2 of Severance. Season 5 of Stranger Things. We have to wait even longer now.
Oh, that's going to hurt a lot of people.
That hurts me. The Venery of Samantha Bird. Season 2 of Unstable. Season 3 of Yellow Jackets. Dang. I actually really like Yellow Jackets.
Dang.
And these are the productions that are somehow unaffected. But they may change because of the fact that a lot of these already had their scripts submitted, but if they don't have access to the writers to make any last-minute changes or adjustments, these movies could be affected later on, or if the script seems really weird when they release, then we know why. So looks like Captain America New World Order still unaffected, Deadpool 3 unaffected, Fantastic Four unaffected, Good Burger 2 unaffected, Psych 4 unaffected, Superman Legacy unaffected, The Piano Lesson unaffected, Thunderbolts unaffected, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're out of the woods yet. That just because if they realize, we need to change something to the script and they don't have access to those writers, they could be like, we'll do whatever we want, and that could make for a very Frankenstein-esque scenario where you'll notice that films were written by different people. Talk shows. The Drew Barrymore Show, unless the strike is prolonged. Gutfeld. The Kelly Clarkson Show, unless the strike is prolonged. Live with Kelly and Mark, Tamron Hall, and The View. Ooh. For these other shows, I'm nervous on these. So, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, unaffected. American Horror Stories, unaffected. Season 12 of American Horror Story, unaffected. Andor Season 2, unaffected. Season 7 of Billions, unaffected. Season 2 of Good Omens, unaffected. Season 2 of House of the Dragons, unaffected. The Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2, unaffected. Rap-ish Season 2, unaffected. Season 41 of Wheel of Fortune, unless the strike is prolonged. Season Man of Wonder Man. If you're a wrestling fan, thankfully we're not unaffected because their writers are not part of the union. So that means on the AEW side, Dynamite and Rampage, unaffected. Yes. And all of the WWE shows are currently unaffected. So Main Event, NXT, NXT Level Up, Raw, and SmackDown. So that's why you haven't seen any drastic changes to those shows. But you'll begin to notice because with these shows, if you're it actually happened the last time we had a huge writer's strike back in 2007 and 2008, that some shows and movies, they were going one way, and then all of a sudden they would completely change, and you're like, wait, what happened? That's when you can tell that it was affected by the strike, because they would bring in basically replacement writers that weren't part of the union that may not have had a single clue what was going on with those shows and told them, hey, write this, finish this, and it just becomes a mess.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
So we'll see. I mean, me personally, and this is just me, I do stand with these writers because these companies are making horrifying amounts of money and they deserve a piece of the pie, especially since they're the ones that are writing these shows that are making these companies all this money. So I stand with them. So, but also, as a movie watcher and a TV watcher, just be ready. If the strike keeps going on much longer, a lot of the shows that we love are going to look drastically different when they come back. So just be warned. Our show is unaffected because we don't have writers. We just sit here and talk on a microphone.
Sometimes you got to wing it.
Sometimes you do just got to wing it. But we'll see how this goes. Whew. We've been talking for a while. And it is actually kind of getting close to the end again. So, woo. While we're here, this is it. This is it, the end of the Dumpster Fire 3.1. I reiterate, this is not the end of the show entirely. This is just the end of this current incarnation of the show. I will be back in a couple of weeks to kick off the Dumpster Fire 3.2. And then in the fall, if all goes to plan, it will be the Dumpster Fire 4.0.
Oh, we're going straight to 4.0, huh?
We're going straight to 4.0 because at the start of each year, so at the start of each fall semester, I give it a new, number.
Okay.
So, last fall semester was the Dumpster Fire 3.0, and then this semester was 3.1, and then the summer will be 3.2, and then it'll go up to 4. Because I kind of butchered it when I originally did it, because last year, because we didn't even have a name for the show the first fall semester, because it used to be the unofficial heavy music block. And that was me and Vega primarily, and then Jeff and Dax would come in on occasion as guest spots. And then that spring semester is when it turned into the Dumpster Fire, and that was the Dumpster Fire 1.0. And then over the summer, I had a big brain move, and I tried calling it the Dumpster Fire 2.0, even though it was just a summer semester, so it wasn't a full-on thing. So I did kind of goof it there. But rather than try to, retcon everything, I'm just like, nope, I left it as is. So then in the fall semester last year, when it was me and Dax, then it became the Dumpster Fire 3.0. And then this semester was 3.1. The summer will be 3.2. And then we'll finally get it over to 4.0. But I'm not going to retcon it because it's just kind of part of the joke now because the show is chaos.
Well, it's called the Dumpster Fire for a reason, right?
It is. It is. I try to strive to make this show live up to its name each and every week. And it's gone through so many iterations. I mean, we've had talks about music, movies, sports, other topics with Vega and Dax throughout the years. I miss them both. We'll see what happens if V ever returns. I'd love to have them come back. Same with Dax. Obviously, Jeff, Janice, everybody else that's been on the show, they are more than welcome to return. But it's been a wild ride so far, and the ride isn't over yet. But we have reached the end of the semester here for the dumpster fire. So anybody still taking classes, still worried about their finals, keep it up. We're at the end. This is it, the last day.
You can do it.
You can do it. You seriously can. Graduation is 3 days away. We just got to get over this final hump. Okay? Like, we've all come too far to go down now. So please, just hang in there just a few hours more. Classes end today at what, like 10 o'clock?
I think so.
Yeah, for like the remaining night classes. So come on, we are 10 hours and 19 minutes away from the official end. You guys can do this. I believe in you all. If you are graduating, congratulations. If you are not planning on being part of the ceremony, that's okay. More power. How do I say this? It's your choice. It's your graduation. For those of you that are going to be there, I will see y'all there Friday. It's going to be an awesome moment for myself. My family's going to be there. My brother's graduating with me, which who would have seen that coming? Definitely not me. Had someone told me a couple of years ago, oh yeah, you and your brother are going to graduate college at the same time, like I wouldn't have believed him. And also to everybody who was part of the media club this semester or this year, it was a privilege to serve as your president. I will remain in the club. As to what our roles will be in the future, that is a big fat to be determined. Right now, it was an incredible run. We were a small group, but we did a lot.
You were a good president.
Thank you. We got really close. We had an incredible time, put on some amazing events, had an amazing time in Vegas, and we learned so much. So this year was definitely one for the books. I do plan, now we just got to run it back. And I do plan on getting a couple more degrees here, because right now I'm at 2. I'm at 2 right now. I'm trying to finish up the full radio degree so I can make it a 3-peat, because, hey, look, I'm wearing a Jordan shirt. Ha, ha, ha.
Bruh.
3-peat. I wonder where he got that from.
Really?
Hey, Jordan had 6 rings, though.
True.
So if I consider getting an Eagle Scout a big accomplishment, which I do, and I actually got a ring for it, because turns out they make rings for Eagle Scouts, and my parents bought me one.
Nice.
So it's like, okay, I have that one. My high school graduation, there's another ring. My Radio 1 certificate, there's another ring. My Radio 2 certificate, there's another ring. I'm at 4. I need 2 more to get that 6 rings, baby. Either that or I've just gone off my rocker completely, which is very much a possibility.
And we all go down that path eventually.
We all do. I figure, you know what? It's like I'm either going to try to do something huge or I'm going to go down fighting. I don't know what these notifications are. But anywho's, that's it. That is the end. That is all I got for today. You got anything, Janice?
2 tickets for Barbie, please.
Yes. That is another thing, too, I plan on talking about in the summer, because that is going to be a crazy opening weekend with Barbie and Oppenheimer opening the same weekend. I think I'm just going to end up watching, I don't know if I'm going to do both on the same day, or if I should do one Friday and one Saturday, or one Saturday and one Sunday.
If you go see the Barbie movie, I'll go with you.
I'm going to go see Barbie. So last week when me and my friend went to go see the Mario movie, they showed the trailer for Barbie. And my friend, she's like, what is this supposed to be? And I'm just like, I can't wait. Because I can't wait. Like, that movie, there's no in between. It's either going to be like this meta, like this super meta funny satire masterpiece, or it's gonna be a flaming dumpster fire. Ba-bumps. There's no in between with that movie. So I'm just really, and it has such a huge cast in it too. It's like, how is this movie gonna go? Like, I can't wait. It's good. Like, it's either gonna be glorious or it's gonna be ridiculous.
Take my money.
Yeah, no. So yeah, no, literally 2 tickets to Barbie, please. And then we got Oppenheimer, which looks like they actually showed a new trailer for Oppenheimer this weekend when I went to go see Guardians. That looks insane. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan. We know that man loves his practical effects. And
Wait,
just
practical effects for the
movies.
No, hold on. Did they do do you think they're gonna do a practical effect for the?
They recreated the Trinity test without CGI.
How?
They haven't said how, but they did it.
That scares me.
That scares me too. It's like, wait, did this boy like go and detonate a nuke?
Did he like go and launch a nuke for
Yeah.
a movie?
I mean, it's like, did they give him like a suitcase nuke or something and just like be like, here, blow this up? So I don't know how they haven't revealed how they did it, but the point is they announced they recreated the Trinity test without CGI. So
For sure, I'm gonna watch that though.
I don't know how they did it. I'm excited to see the movie, and we'll see how it goes. But that does it for today. We thank you all so much for listening. It's been a privilege doing this for y'all the last couple of years, and I'm looking forward to being back in a couple of weeks. I thank you all once again. This was a dumpster fire, and you were all warned.